B. Knuckles, and The Scumbag Volume 1. The Emerald Abyss, that's what they called the Penthouse Club, a glittering jewel atop the city's tallest spire. From his dimly lit office across the street, B. Knuckles, a man whose sharp focus was etched on his features, watched the city's elite flock to its doors. He was on a call, his voice a low growl. The package is in play, the scumbag's latest shipment. But something's not right. The air is thick with ghosts tonight. He disconnects the call, his knuckles white. He turns from the window, his face a mask of grim determination, and strides to a hidden panel, revealing a gleaming black Grand National, its engine humming with latent power. This car was his ghost, a relic from a past he could never outrun. Inside the Emerald Abyss, the air was thick with the scent of money and champagne. Canon Jefferson, a mountain of a man with a gleaming prosthetic arm, was making a scene at the bar, his laughter booming over the music. Across the room, Ghost Belle, a lithe woman whose movements were liquid grace, moved through the shadows, a phantom in the glittering crowd. She was the reason they were here. She was the one who would steal the package, a master of infiltration with a razor-sharp mind. In a van parked in a nearby alley, Doc Hayes, a man whose calm demeanor was a balm in the chaos, monitored the team's vitals. Beside him, Shadow Miller, a young man whose intensity burned behind his eyes, worked his magic on a laptop, creating a digital smokescreen. "I've got you, Ghost," Miller murmured, his fingers flying across the keyboard. "Just be quick about it." He rerouted security feeds, disabled alarms, and created a ghost in the machine, a digital phantom to mask their intrusion. At the service entrance of the Emerald Abyss, Nyx and Vixen stood guard. Nyx, a young woman with a shock of pink hair, was hacking the club's security system. Vixen, a woman whose power and grace were a paradox, stood beside her, her hand resting on the hilt of a sword. They were the last line of defense. A sudden noise from the alley sent Vixen into a defensive stance, her sword drawn in a flash of steel. The Neon Oasis. It was a place of refuge, but tonight, it was a place of reckoning. The heist had gone wrong. The package was a trap. Ghost and Cannon burst through the door, their faces grim. "It was a setup," Ghost hissed, her voice laced with fury. "They were waiting for us." It had the scumbag's stink all over it. As the team regrouped, B. Knuckles' secure line chirped. An encrypted message. A beautiful woman with haunted eyes appeared on the small screen. "My name is Paloma," she whispered, her voice trembling but underscored with a fierce resolve. "My little brother, Mateo. He was one of the 3 youths taken in Newark. I was a social worker at the community center he was snatched from. I've been digging. I found out who's behind it. The scumbag. He's not just moving guns." Her eyes darted off-screen, wide with terror. "They found me." The line went dead. Her last known location pinged on their map, South Orange Avenue. Miles away, a man known only as the Scumbag watched the chaos unfold on a bank of monitors. He was an old man, his face hidden in the shadows of a hood, but his designer shoes and quiet leather trench spoke of immense, understated wealth. He sat in the driver's seat of a deceptively plain black Dodge Omni, the interior a nest of high-tech surveillance gear. He took a slow drag from a cigar, a cruel smile playing on his lips. He was an international arms dealer, a wizard of human trafficking, and a connoisseur of suffering. "Clean up your mess," he said into a hidden mic, his voice a low, gravelly rasp, smooth as silk and cold as the grave. The walls of the Neon Oasis shook with explosions. The name Paloma and her mention of the scumbag sent B. Knuckles' mind spiraling back through the pain. Rain on the windshield of the Grand National. He was younger, a federal agent on the verge of taking down the scumbag's trafficking ring. But there was a mole, an ambush. His partner died in his arms. The memory ended, and B. Knuckles was back in the present, the old rage burning cold and clear. "We're going after her," he said. B. Knuckles and Ghost arrived on South Orange Avenue in Newark. The place was eerily quiet. An overturned coffee cup, its contents staining the pavement, was the only sign anything was wrong. In a nearby bodega, a television flickered with a breaking news alert. The scumbag's face, taken from a grainy surveillance photo, filled the screen. "This man," a stern-faced anchorwoman said, "is wanted in connection with the disappearance of 3 youths in the Newark area." Ghost looked at B-Knuckles. "He's escalating." Back in the van, Nix and Miller worked frantically, digging for any trace of Paloma. "They wiped her clean," Nix said, her voice tight with tension. But they missed something. Miller's face was grim. "It's the scumbag's signature," he said. "He's trying to burn us out." He followed a ghost of a data fragment, a digital breadcrumb left in Paloma's last message. It led to an advertisement for Hargrove's classic sneaker boot. A link. A lead. Their search led them to a back-alley card game. A young man, Lil Face the Ace, was holding court until Cannon's presence cleared the room. "I saw her," he stammered, cornered by Vixen, "the pretty lady. She was asking questions about some old shoe factory. Then a black Omni pulled up. They took her." He looked from Vixen to Cannon. "That's all I know, I swear." Deep inside the scumbag's secret lair, the air was thick with the stench of decay and despair. The only light came from flickering candles that cast long, dancing shadows on the damp stone walls. The scumbag stared at a monitor displaying the Hargrove sneaker boot, a cruel smile on his lips. He took a slow drag from his cigar, the smoke curling into the foul air. From the darkness beyond the candlelight, a sound echoed, faint but unmistakable. It was the sound of children crying for help, a chorus of terror unheard by the world above.